Hey there, my fishing friends, and welcome back to the channel. It's your resident angling expert, ready to break down exactly what we can expect on the water this coming Thursday, the 27th of November, 2025. Now, I've dug deep into the data, and let me tell you, this day is shaping up to be a cracker, especially for those of us chasing certain species. Get ready for some serious insights, because I'm going to share some little tricks that could make all the difference, transforming a good day into an unforgettable one. So grab a cuppa, relax, and let's get into it. First up, let's talk about those magnificent snapper. With coastal water temperatures steadily rising, we're seeing their metabolism boost, and they are actively moving into shallower waters to feed. On this day, you'll want to target inshore reefs, rocky outcrops, and those deeper channels. My advice, friends, is to carefully anchor up current from a promising spot and establish a consistent burley trail. For tackle, a paternoster rig with a running sinker is a classic choice. Fresh pilchard fillets, fresh squid strips, or even well-presented soft plastics in natural colors worked slowly along the bottom can be incredibly effective. Remember, a quiet, stealthy approach and the freshest bait make all the difference here. Pay attention to those early morning and late afternoon bites. That's when they're most confident. Next we have the cunning dusky flathead, those ambush predators still providing fantastic fishing throughout Australia's extensive estuary systems. The steadily warming water temperatures are boosting their metabolism, making them more active and willing to ambush prey. You'll typically find them camouflaged and lurking in the warmer, shallower waters, especially over sand flats adjacent to healthy weed beds, and along those crucial drop-offs and channel edges. A simple, yet incredibly effective approach is to use a soft plastic grub or a realistic prawn imitation, worked slowly and meticulously along the bottom. Cast it out, allow it to settle, and retrieve with short hops and pauses. If bait is your preference, small pilchards or fresh prawns are always winners. Focus on those tidal movements, as they'll often sit at the edges of the current waiting for an easy meal. For a bit of fun in the shallows, let's focus on whiting, both sand and yellowfin. Whiting are around in November and are particularly active on the run-in tide over clear shallows. You'll want to be casting your lines in clear shallow banks, around sand hills, and into the gutters and sand holes close to shore. Keep an eye out for feeding dugongs or stingrays. Where they're digging, the whiting are often close behind, feasting on whatever gets stirred up. For tackle, a good old paternoster rig for drifting is hard to beat, with fresh yabbies or worms being your go-to baits. A little trick, use a small sinker and don't cast too far. Whiting often feed very close to the edge on the rising tide, and for our mates in the tropical north, the iconic Barramundi are absolutely thriving. We're firmly in the build-up season, with hot, sticky weather and the increased probability of afternoon storms. These silver warriors will be exceptionally active in the region's creeks, winding rivers, and along coastal areas, especially congregating around prominent snags, submerged fallen trees, and rock bars. If you're a lure angler, speed is your ally. Think large, aggressive soft plastics, big noisy poppers, and fast-sinking stick baits retrieved with as much urgency as you can muster. You need to grab their attention in this competitive feeding environment. For bait, live mullet or prawns are top choices, fished close to structure. Now for the nitty-gritty, the theoretical base for our forecast. Weather-wise, for the 27th of November 2025, we're looking at generally comfortable conditions across Australia. Daytime temperatures will mostly range between 22 and 26 degrees Celsius, dropping to around 16 or 17 degrees overnight. While there's a very low chance of general rainfall, some areas, like Adelaide, might see a morning shower or two, easing into a mainly sunny afternoon. Winds will be breezy, generally west to southwesterly, around 15 to 25 kilometers per hour. Stable atmospheric pressure, which is typical after the spring transitions, is generally a good sign for fishing. This cooler air after a potential shower could make the fish a bit cautious initially, but stable pressure usually encourages feeding. Water temperatures across Australian coastal waters are steadily rising, a trend we absolutely love this time of year. In places like Sydney, we're seeing comfortable readings around 19 to 21 degrees Celsius. This warming trend is a massive signal to fish. It's time to feed heavily before the intense summer heat sets in. This boosts their metabolism and makes them more active. Regarding the moon phase on November 27, 2025, we are in a waxing crescent phase. The moon's illuminated surface is around 42 to 44% and growing just a day before the first quarter. In fishing folklore, the waxing crescent leading up to the first quarter is often associated with improving fish activity as the moon's gravitational pull on the tides begins to strengthen. While some might consider this a neap tide day, the increasing illumination and approach to the first quarter often mean stronger feeding windows, particularly around sunrise and sunset when tidal movements are more pronounced. Overall biological activity is high. Most species are in a strong feeding mode as they build up reserves for the coming summer. Snapper, flathead, whiting and barramundi are all showing good signs of activity. Taking all these dynamic factors into account, the generally stable and comfortably warm weather, consistently rising water temperatures, the strengthening tidal movement influenced by the waxing moon, and the overall high levels of fish activity across various species, my expert assessment for fishing on November 27, 2025, across most of Australia, is a solid good to very good. The absolute key to maximizing your success will be to remain flexible, observe immediate local conditions, and meticulously adapt your tactics to target the most active species in their preferred areas. Those strengthening tides in particular will create excellent bite windows, especially during the crucial low-light periods around sunrise and sunset. So get out there, be keenly observant, and trust your instincts. Well, my dedicated fishing friends, that wraps up our comprehensive forecast for Thursday, the 27th of November. I hope these insights help you land that dream catch. Remember, even a challenging day on the water is better than a good day at work, right? So, tight lines everyone, and may you have bent rods and screaming reels. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this forecast helpful, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future tips. And tell me in the comments below, what's your go-to bait for snapper in late spring? Or maybe you have a secret spot for whiting. Share your wisdom with the community. Until next time, stay safe and ni costa ni cheshwi, tight lines, as we say in the old country.